Armenian separatist terrorist invasive regime in Karabakh. Armenian separatist terrorist invasive regime in Karabakh. Armenians began the invasion of Karabakh by taking possession of political power in the Karabagh Autonomous Oblast. For this purpose, they took measures aimed at the appropriation of the legal body's powers. Thus, they tried to put a so-called legal cover on their activities. For this purpose, they held a gathering called the Congress of Karabagh Autonomous Oblast Population Representatives. This Congress was illegal, as the regionals couldn't be objective, because representatives of the Oblast's Azerbaijani population were not invited to the Congress and didn't take part in it. The National Council was created on August 16, 1986. This council was directly heading the mission of breaking Karabagh Autonomous Oblast from the Republic of Azerbaijan and impeded the legal activity of the Organization Committee. In September 1991, the creation of the fictitious Karabagh Republic was announced. The annulment of the status of the Karabagh Autonomous Oblast of Azerbaijan and the introduction of an all-republic government style proves once again the illegality of that organization. During all these processes, the slyness of Armenia's position is striking as well. On the one hand, it was adopting a decision of the annexation of the Karabagh Autonomous Oblast to Armenia. On the other hand, trying to make the international community admit the fictitious union named Karabagh Republic, hold elections in order to give a legitimate character to the governmental bodies in the Karabagh Republic. The Karabagh Republic is in essence a separatist, terrorist, invasive regime. This regime, like the other regimes similar to it, relies on military forces created with the help of Armenia as well as other states supporting and supplying with armed separatist terrorist forces. While this regime calls itself the Karabagh Republic, it actually keeps a big part of historical Karabakh land, that is, the territories not included in Karabakh. This fact alone expresses quite clearly the current state of the land aside the territory of Karabagh Autonomous Oblast. When the fictitious regime called the Karabagh Republic was created, Azerbaijan territories were invaded. Azerbaijanis suffered blood slaughters and genocide. The local population was forcibly driven out of their native lands and became refugees and internally displaced persons. Thus, ethnic cleansing, including deportation and killing, was conducted in these lands. As a result of this, the mono-ethnic power of the Armenian was established in the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. Prior to this, Armenians had implemented the same policy in the current Armenian territory, that's the former Western Azerbaijan lands. The region's economic state also reflects the measurable results of the bloody invasion regime. The economic potential of Karabakh has suffered a heavy blow. It was distributed among the Armenian mafia forces going as far back as during the Soviet power and became a raw material base of Armenia. The economy of other occupied Azerbaijan and adjacent regions of the Karabagh Autonomous Oblast has fallen into worse condition. The current economic potential and all forcibly displaced Azerbaijani peoples prepared to be plundered and essentially destroyed. Non-cultivation of arable lands has shown its effect. Wild animals' pastos increase greatly, for there are plenty of wild plants in the unplanted and uncultivated lands. They cause great damage to agriculture, spreading into the surrounding territories as well as neighboring regions. Historical monuments belonging to Azerbaijanis in the occupied territory has been severely plundered and destroyed. Christian monuments belonging to the Azerbaijan Alban state are falsified and named Armenian Gregorian monuments. Modern Armenian vandalism is doing its work in front of the world community's eyes. The military operations conducted in Karabakh on the one hand, and the current invasion regime on Armenians have fully destroyed the Shushak cave, Shushak castle walls, tomb of the famous Azerbaijan poet Mullah Panah Vagi, Shah Abbas, Caravanserai in Fizuli, cultural historical monuments in Kalbajar, Lachin, Gubadla, Zengilan, and other settlements turned ancient Alban churches in Karabakh into weapons destroyers and destroyed them. About 43 Hydra meteorological observation points being destroyed, which contradicts the principles of UNESCO and the Worldwide Meteorological Organization. The report of the Azerbaijan delegation to the European Council Parliamentary Assembly provided detailed information about the fact that the GARABAGH Republic uses the occupied territories for direct planting, production and trades. There are facts proving as well that international-aligned Armenian terrorist organization bases are located in these territories. The fact of financing the GARABAGH separatist terrorist regime by international Armenian companies has been revealed as well. After the invasion of GARABAGH, Armenia was given an incentive to settle the Armenians in those lands and began to use methods that were even more cunning. Due to the negotiations conducted with the Kurdish Workers' Party, they began to make measures for removing Kurds from Iraq to the invaded territories. In April 2003, on the even during the US-led war against Iraq, the idea emerged of placing in GARABAGH Armenians living in Iraq. The United States Department expressed a serious protest against this. Change in the Kurds' position in Iraq brought the Armenian Kurdish Workers' Party's agreement regarding the movement of Kurds to GARABAGH. This, in fact, was one more confirmation of the historical rights of Azerbaijan as the legal owners of those lands. The separatist, terrorist Armenian regime causes protests in the entire world as time goes on. Not accidentally, the Armenians, having great force and ways of influence in the international world, have not achieved any progress in the field of the recognition of this fictitious state despite all efforts. On the contrary, several authoritative international organizations have confirmed in their documents the fact of the invasion of Azerbaijan territory and called Armenia an invasive, aggressive state and fictitious GARABAGH separatist terrorist regime.